Good morning, Joe. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Fantastic. I got to tell you how proud I am of you for doing this project, because the conversation has got to start somewhere. And what you're doing with Peacock and Shadowland is just amazing, because it's going to open up a lot of eyes and bring some realism to our flat screens.
I hope so. You know, we've divided into two camps. We vilify each other. We view each other as two-dimensional human beings, and half the country looks up and thinks the sky is red. And to me, this is the enemy of democracy. You know, the foundation of democracy are people with different points of view coming together, agreeing on some basic facts, and doing what's best for the collective good. But social and political discourse in this country, when the populace of nations divide into two camps and hate each other, terrible things happen. And, you know, in my opinion, this is the path we're headed out. If people turn out and get something out of it, you know, perhaps there's more to do. Look, to me, it's the most important issue of the day. You know, the people who went to January, you know, who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, you know, many of them believe that they are the patriots. Many of them believe that the country is, you know, the country's been stolen by a cabal of blood-drinking pedophiles. I mean, truly, people believe that stuff. Or for other reasons, they went to the Capitol thinking they were the patriots saving America. So when you get into that kind of a situation where the reality for people is so different than what you think, it is even.
So what's worse, a community connected to conspiracies or a cult? Because it's still all about what they believe and what they're doing with what they believe.
Yeah, but you know, again, I don't want to. When we start saying like they're like a cult, they're like this, that's when we start dehumanizing people.
Right.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in this country who wake up and have very different views because they're getting information that's incorrect, and that's where we have to figure out how to get information to be more accurate, more believable. I mean, there was a time in this country when there was just a handful of television networks who gave us the news, and there was a very, very clear dividing line between entertainment and news. And the news was the gift that the American people got. That was the obligation of the network for getting an F. And all of a sudden, that wall between news and entertainment, the blurring of that line came down, and news became like any other piece of entertainment, ratings-driven, opinion-driven.
Yep.
And those are the seeds of a lot of the misinformation that has become the norm. And when that intersected with social media and basically unregulated, unfettered information flow being dumped on people with all sorts of nefarious intent, we've lost control of what is true, and that is the biggest challenge facing democracy, and that is what has allowed conspiracy theories to flourish. Are blood-drinking pedophiles. Yep. I mean, that's a deep belief by many people in this country. Just that alone should scare people. I mean, I've read polls and studies where up to 15% of the population deeply believes in QAnon. That's troubling.
Yep. We're only a few weeks away from that midterm election, dude. This is the right time to have this on Peacock, Shadowland. Once again, I'm so proud of you for doing this, because you are creating conversation.
Thanks, man.
And I'm going to be sitting there with my pen taking notes, because, I mean, you've got a lot of information here. Well, you be brilliant today, okay, sir? I will. You be brilliant today, okay?
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.